a background for Mary and Cindy, we're going to be live on YouTube, but you guys will be able to answer your own ask. So we're live on YouTube, and this is a material sourcing webinar. My name is Shatara. I'm the marketing manager at Makers Row, and also kind of like coordinating our gold program. So this webinar is special for our gold members, and just hoping you guys kind of get more guidance through the process of launching your product by 2017 and really getting your business off the ground. So today we're joined by Stateless Fashion, the team at Stateless Fashion, and I'm going to hand it over to them, and they're going to just explain a little bit about who they are and what they do before they jump into material sourcing. Oh, one more thing is we're going to take your questions at the end, the last 10 minutes, but in the beginning there's an outline on the comment section on the right hand side. So that's kind of like a good guideline for you guys to follow the conversation before we ask questions. If you guys have any questions during their presentations, feel free. On the left-hand side at the top, there's a blue box, and it's a chat box. You guys can put your questions in throughout their kind of mini lesson. So I'm gonna hand it over to Suad and Lee.
Hi guys, I'm Suad and this is Lee.
Hi.
And we represent Stateless Fashion Design and Consulting, and we are an outsourced design and development team, and we can also manage your production in the United States. So today we're going to talk to you guys about material sourcing and to answer any questions you have about your needs for your different businesses. And we're just going to go through a few topics that we put together on things that we think are really important for you guys to know. So Lee is going to kick it off with some fabric information, and we'll just take it from there. So,
okay. One thing that's really important, especially for small businesses as you're starting, is when you go to talk to a fabric mill to know exactly what it is you're asking for. So there's a lot of questions, like if you are developing t-shirts, you wouldn't want to just say, I'm looking for a t-shirt fabric. The more specific you can be, the better it will be in your sourcing product. So the first thing would probably be fiber content. So whether you're looking for 100% cotton fabric or whether you're looking for a blend, important to know what it is that you're looking for to start. But again, fiber content alone will not be enough just for the fabric mill. They're going to have a lot more questions for you. One of the most important things is like how to decide, is it a knit fabric or is it a woven fabric? So there's different things and different characteristics. Knit fabrics are made from continuous yarns, and they tend to have a lot of stretch. So if you think about your t-shirts, that would be a knit fabric for the most part. And then woven fabrics are more constructed, have less give. They're made from warp and weft yarns when they're woven together. So that's a difference. One thing really important to know, which type of mill you're going to work with. Also, they'll need to know further from knit or woven what type of construction that you're looking for. So if it's a t-shirt, is it a basic jersey fabric? And here is just an example of a jersey knit fabric. So you can see that it stretches, has give. And jersey would be that the front of the face of the fabric is a different construction than the back. So just an idea. There's also, you could do ribs, interlocks, lots of different constructions. So important to know what it is exactly that you're looking for when you speak to the mill. And another important factor is the garment weight, or the fabric weight. So if you're looking for a lightweight t-shirt, the tissue weight cotton jersey, you typically talk in grams per meter squared, so maybe 140 grams for a lightweight fabric. Or if you're looking for a beefier, heavier t-shirt, maybe you're looking for 195 gram. So those are specific things that will help you when you work with your fabric mill, that you're going down the right path.
Yeah, and also one thing that just came to my mind as you were talking was that some of the mills will ask for a cutting of an example that you guys have. So if you have something at home or something you found at a retail fabric store that represents a quality that you're looking for, it's always best to send it to the mill and to send them a cutting of it, with some of the information that Lee has shared with weight and knit or versus woven, or a specific color that you're looking for, so they can actually have something in hand to touch and feel, to be able to see if they have exactly what you're looking for. Like, we can all talk about it and verbalize it, but it's a very visual thing too. So anything tangible that you can send over to the mill is the best as well, and they'll be able to tell you straight away what if they have what you're looking for. So next topic we're going to move on to is, how is your fabric going to perform? Does it need to be washed or treated for production? Is it machine washable? Is it dry clean only? What are the care instructions? And this really also depends on what your customer wants, like who your customer is, what fabrics they're going to gravitate towards. Do they want something that's 100% washable, or is it okay if it's a little more higher end or something elevated or designer to have it be dry clean only? So this is something that in your development stage, you will want to know this information. So as you're developing, you can make sure you have everything in place for your sampling and your production, and how the fabric is going to perform. Like, for example, a jersey, some jerseys are very stiff when you buy them in raw form, or if you buy them on the roll. And then once you cut and sew a garment of a t-shirt, say, you might need to send it out to a wash house to have like an enzyme or silicone treatment on it to wash the fabric and make it feel a little bit more lived in and a little bit softer. Most fabrics are washed, unless it's like a super soft bamboo, or it's an active wear synthetic fabric that doesn't need to be washed. But most things will take a wash treatment. For example, denim. Denim in its raw form is very stiff, and it's deep indigo blue. And in order to achieve all of the cool washes we see in stores, whether it's like a light blue or medium blue and all the hand sanding and all of the treatments that are done to it, there's an extensive wash process, wet and dry process, done to denim to be able to achieve the look that you're going for. So it's also the finishing process for your fabric really helps to achieve the look that your customer is going to want to buy from you. And it's really the same. You could do it with fleece, t-shirt, jersey, even your woven shirting, like a button-down shirt. You might want to put a little bit of a wash on it, so it's just softer and more comfortable and cozy to wear. So that's a little info on how your fabric will perform. The next topic we'll move into is fabric lead time and MOQ.
Sure.
So MOQ means minimum order quantity, and the quantity that you're looking to make, whether you're doing sampling or production, is going to affect the type of mill that you reach out to. So certain mills, some of them don't have any minimums, and you could buy 1 yard or 5 yards, and some mills require a larger order, 100 yards or 1,000 yards or 3,000 yards. So it really, you have to know how much yardage you need, so you know who to reach out to in terms of the fabric mills. And fabric mills are wholesale suppliers. So it's not a retail store that you go to and buy fabric from. They are dedicated fabric mills that specialize in different fibers. So a few things to look out for, and to just that you want to know before you reach out to the mill is your quantity. So if you're working with low quantities and you're doing maybe 50 units or 25 units, you're going to want to find a mill that has stock fabric. And that means fabrics that you can get swatches or qualities like this fabric, for example. This is a stock fabric that this mill supplies, and they stock it on their shelves. They have a lot of colors that you can choose from. And if it's in stock, you can buy anywhere from 1 yard to up to 5 yards or 100 yards or however much they have. That's your best case scenario if you're a startup and you need to work with what the mills can provide for you. It can be bought in a small quantity with a very quick delivery. Typically, they're more basic fabrics. You're not going to find something super unique or with with antimicrobial or a really cool finishing on it. You're going to find basic fabrics. The timeline for this is you can probably have the stock, if it's in stock in 2 weeks, you can have it in your office or in your warehouse or in your factory or wherever you need it to go, unless you're ordering a large quantity, then it might take longer. The second thing is if the article is not in stock and it's not a stock fabric, but they sent you a swatch as a fabric quality that they're able to do, but they don't keep stock of it, their minimum order quantity is going to be larger, maybe 500 yards or 1,000 yards. And typically those fabrics are a little bit more unique. They're a little bit more rare, so the minimums are going to be higher on those. It's not going to be sitting on the shelf in the mill for you to easily get. And then a third topic for that is any fabric that you want to develop as brand new. So if you have this great idea and you want to develop like a silk fabric with a waterproof coating on it, or something that's kind of out there and it's totally custom, and it doesn't exist in the market, that usually has the longest lead times, and you're going to have to work for quite a few months on developing it with your fabric supplier. The minimums will be very high, and your lead time to get that fabric for sampling or production could take anywhere between 12 and 20 weeks. So those are just the different types of tiers of fabric sourcing. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered most of the topics.
Okay.
So that was good.
Well, actually, here's some. Do you want to go over some of the questions?
Oh, sure.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
Yeah. Some additional questions when you're buying the fabric that you like, that you want to talk to the mill about, is you definitely want to ask about what the price per yard is, or price per meter for the fabric. Important to know. So your factory then can help cost the garment. But in order for them to cost it, they're also going to need to know the fabric width. If it's wide goods, you can typically cut more pieces, versus if you're working with narrow goods, there might be more wastage involved, or you won't be able to utilize the yield as best as possible to get yourself the lowest price. Availability, you always want to ask the mill, what is the availability in stock, and then they can give you the timeline on how quickly you'll be able to get into the fabric if it's on the shelf, and then if you need to make it to order. So timeline is important. And then country of origin, because even though you might be working with a local supplier, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're making all of the fabric here in the US. It can come from other countries as well. So that will play into your lead times as well.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
oh, you broke up, Shatara. You're frozen in time.
Oh no.
Okay, there you are.
Okay. I'm just gonna jump in for 1 second. For those of you that are just joining us right here,
You broke up on us again.
am I back? I'm not back.
Now you're back.
Okay. So I'll say this quickly just in case you lose me again. Leave your comments, leave your questions in the chat or in the comment section. We'll be answering.
Okay, my factory tells me fabric I want isn't available out there. I've seen loads of retail products. This is because I'm only the prototype stage.
So go ahead. Yeah, feel free to start answering. I guess Mary's question is first. So.
Okay, so Mary, your factory's telling you that the fabric you want isn't available out there, like in the market. Okay, I see you shaking your head. Yes. Okay, so your fabric isn't available in the market, meaning it's not in stock, or it's not an available fabric that the mills have. I've seen it in loads of retail products. Is this because I'm only in the prototype stage? This could be for a lot of reasons. This could be if you're seeing your fabric in products that are mass, or that are produced in really large quantities and produced overseas, those fabrics might be customized. I'm not sure where you're looking, if it's like, if you see, I know you mentioned a bra earlier, but if you are looking at, say, a Victoria's Secret bra fabric, I know, I see you're shaking your head no, but if it's a company or a brand that produces worldwide, that some of those fabrics are customized, and it would be really hard for you to find them in whatever quantity that you're looking for. So it could mean a bunch of things that your factory is telling you.
Okay, I unmuted myself so I could just make it. What I'm looking for is like a knit fabric that's compression. And, you know, if you, it seems to me that there are compression t-shirts and, I mean, all the activewear, everything is made out of compression fabrics. And so they just say, well, you know, it's not available, or they can only get something in black or white, or, you know, and it's still, what they're showing me still isn't, like, I want a microfiber compression fabric, and they're saying I can't get it. But maybe it is because, you know, we're still at the prototype stage, and, you know, am I willing to order more? Yes, but, so that's my question.
Well, willing to order more, like if the minimum was higher, if you did find the fabric and the minimum was 1,000 yards or 500 yards, and if you're in a bra, you're not using very much fabric for each piece. So, you know, 500 yards of a bra fabric, you're going to have like 2,000 bras. So which is
more challenging when it comes to the intimate apparel category, especially.
It's very challenging because each garment takes up such a small amount of fabric that most of the factories that we know of that do intimates require a large minimum order quantity, because it doesn't cost that much for them to cut and sew. So for their business model, I would be interested to know if that factory simply doesn't have a source for it, rather than saying like it doesn't exist for you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I have sort of. But now, can I go to a fabric mill, or can I make direct contact with a fabric mill? And if I can find it, like I don't mean to be hogging the airwaves here, so I'll just stop. But can we, as a startup, can we go to a fabric mill or a place and try to get fabric directly from them?
Yeah,
you can. Yes, you can. But sometimes it's challenging because they know a new startup, they're not going to get a lot of return on it, especially if you have a lot of questions. So sometimes it's better to come to a company like a Stateless that has relationships with the mills that can kind of help, because we represent multiple brands, so we have a little bit more leverage that way. Okay. But you can do it on your own as well. It's just getting someone willing to work with a very small quantity to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Any other questions?
Oh, we have Adele from YouTube. We make small runs. How do we find fabric mills with order minimums of less than 50 yards? Well, it's totally possible to find a fabric MIPS yardage lower than 50. It just depends on what fabric you're looking for. If it's a basic jersey or a woven fabric, that should be no problem. But if you're looking for something that is very customized and unique, then that might be more of a challenge.
And there's certain trade shows and things that you can look into as well, which is probably a better forum than going one-on-one. So when you look into a trade show in New York City or something, there's multiple fabric suppliers there that you can also reach out to, and they're at a booth, and you might have better luck that way as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that way you can walk around from supplier to supplier and learn about, you know, what all of their minimums are, or only target suppliers that have low minimums at the show, so you know that you'll be able to work with one of them if they have the fabric that you're looking for. But that's a great resource to look up, is fabric and textile trade shows. Mary, how can we find out about trade shows? That is a great question. There is, well, actually, in New York, it's trade show time-ish in New York now. That last week there was DG Expo, which is a fabric trade show specifically designed for low order quantities of fabric and trim yardage. So I'm not sure when the next one will be coming around. But
I think if you Google DJ Expo, I think there's another show in Chicago and another one in Miami. Like it may not be in New York, but they do it major cities. So there might be one near you.
Absolutely. And you can Google fashion fabric trade shows. If you go to the Magic website, or Women's Wear Daily or something like that, you can get a trade show schedule. I'm not sure if it would include fabric, but for the year, if they have it, and then set your schedule up so you can attend.
Awesome. So for those of you on YouTube, I'm just gonna repeat because I know it's a little bit of a delay for us as the live broadcast. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. Kiki Couture said, I appreciate your time and info, valuable information. Thank you. And she also asked about trade shows, but you guys just answered that. So we got your question, Kiki Couture. Also, if Cindy or Raghu has any questions, feel free to ask it in the comments. I'm curious to.
Oh, we lost you.
Frozen. I should chat with her. Yeah, frozen.
Sourcing.
Oh, there, you're back. We lost you for.
Couldn't hear your question.
We couldn't hear your question.
Okay. What do new entrepreneurs kind of underestimate about material sourcing? Like, what do they not think of? A step that they may miss when thinking about it.
I think a lot of new entrepreneurs miss a lot of questions that they should ask the mill in terms of the price per yard. To ask the mills, once you find a quality that you like, definitely first thing you should ask is the price. What's the fabric width, so you know how wide your goods are, so you can start calculating your yield, which is your how many pieces you can actually make out of 1 yard. The availability, what's in stock, how much they have.
I think also asking the performance features of the fabric as well, asking about shrinkage. If you're doing knit fabrics, make sure it's like coming in within industry standards so that or do you have to pre-wash the fabric so you're not going to have shrinkage later on? All kind of good important things. Is it going to pass color fastness to light, color fastness to wet? Like if you're gonna, I don't know, for children's wear, toddler diapers or toddler pants or something, you wanna make sure a wet diaper isn't going to, just because they're wearing a black legging, that black dye won't crock off.
Right.
All these important things, which sometimes when you're working with low minimum order quantity, sometimes you're buying sample fabric. And if you're using it truly for samples, that's okay. But if you're using it for bulk goods, you want to make sure that you're not going to have an issue with something crocking on something else.
Because then you'll go into production and you'll make all of your units, and then it'll come out in the end that you had all of these issues with how your fabric performs, or you didn't know the shrinkage, so your customer bought it and it shrunk so much that they could only wear it once, or things like that. Those are just stories that we hear all the time because entrepreneurs or small brands or startups didn't know those questions to ask
up front, which is really important.
Very important.
Thanks. I'm going to put the link for your Makers Row profile in the chat section, and just do a last call. If Mary, do you have any other questions or no? Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, the Makers Row Go program really is designed to help entrepreneurs really get guided help to getting their products off the ground this year or starting their business. So this webinar is a part of it. We'll have another webinar next month as well, kind of dealing more so with the business aspect of like your e-commerce and marketing. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, be sure to check out makersrow.com/gold to check out the stateless apparel, stateless fashion, stateless fashion link. I'll leave that in YouTube and also in this chat so you guys can make sure you check out they have samples of things they produce and their capabilities. So if you guys want to just maybe one more time talk about stateless for the people that didn't get to hear it in the beginning on YouTube, and we'll close out on that note.
Sure. So we are Stateless Fashion Design and Consulting, and I'm Suad, and I'm the founder and creative director, and this is Lee. She's our production manager, and we're an outsourced design and development team, and we can also manage your production. So we have a team of product developers, production managers, creative designers, and pattern makers. And what we do is assign a small team, a small cross-functional team to your specific brand. I am usually the communicator of everything to you guys to make sure that you understand all of the pieces of the process. And we can take you from start to finish. We can concept with you. We can conceptualize your brand and help you figure it out. Or if you are already clear with your branding and you know exactly what you want, you can come to us and we will get you on a plan and a timeline to develop your product, get your samples made, conduct your fittings with you, source your fabric, work on your costing, and get you. Our goal is for you to go into production unless sampling is the only thing that you are interested in, which is also fine. But we would like to set you up for success and have you run a production line. So we have that thought in mind from the very beginning. So it goes into our thought process with all the fabric sourcing and material sourcing, because it's so important for you to be set up in the beginning so you can actually produce with the fabrics that you're sampling with, and you're not just going to a retail fabric store to buy fabric and then you do your sampling and you actually can't run that fabric in production. So, and then you have to start the process all over again. So we are an outsourced design and development team and a production management team, and we would love to work with you.
Thank you guys again for all your wisdom and information, and thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to rewatch this live broadcast if you joined us late, and feel free if you guys have any questions or want to work with Stateless. I left the link in the comment section, and message them on Makers Row and reach out to them. Bye guys.
Bye, thank you.